to another behind the scenes video this weekend, and it is freezing. Whoa, we've had 2 to 3 days now of these wild westerly winds off the desert here in Australia, and it's really powering through. It was around about 30 knots all day yesterday, and it's about the same today. And what's really interesting is, for all you people that live in a house on the land, you don't get to experience this wild and windy weather in the same way as you do when you live on a boat. And you've always got to be checking your lines to make sure you're tied in properly, and the position of your boat's important, and everything's banging and rattling, and it's just fantastic. That's living. So you really get to use your senses more when you live on a boat, and you smell the salt water, you feel the cold wind. Just more alive, I reckon. Anyway, I've got lots of great exciting news to tell you this week, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to get out of this freezing wind, and then I can have a chat with you all. So I'll be back again shortly. Been able to find a little bit of a sanctuary out of the wind, so I can continue here. So thanks for watching these behind the scenes videos. I'm going to be bringing you all the stuff that I don't obviously get to put in the shows, and talking about boat life and showing you as much as I can about life on a boat. This past week's been really exciting, had some great guests on the show, and we did another food series with Dion Taylor this week, which is going to be released on Monday tomorrow, and we're cooking a dish from Bulgaria. Have you ever been to Bulgaria? Have you tried Bulgarian food? Well, this is an opportunity for you to do just that. And then we're going to talk to an Englishman who has just recently immigrated to Australia, and he did all that pre-COVID-19, and then the world closed up. So interesting conversation with Chris James about life in Australia and immigrating to a new country, and an interesting guy with an interesting background. And then I had a really great chat to a friend of mine, Menno van Loon from the Netherlands, who sailed across the Pacific and sailed across the Atlantic Ocean by himself in a sailboat. Now, what's interesting about Menno is he used to be a corporate lawyer. He threw all that away to become a solo sailor, and changed his life over the course of 5 years in doing that, which was an extraordinary story. So check that one out as well. It's a really good story. And the big news of the week is we've got our new website that's going to be launched. Yes, the Humaneity website is nearly here, folks, and you're going to be able to find all of our shows in one place. It's going to be easy for you to engage with us, and I've got to tell you, it's looking pretty slick. Yeah, pretty slick. And I'm really happy about it, because it's another one of our innovative partnership programs that have come together. Ivana Katz out there has done an amazing job for us, and we're going to share all of that in a separate video, so stay tuned for that one. So plenty of great things coming along for that this week, and I'm going to head back to the boat now so that we can give you a little bit more insight to what it's like to live on a boat when you've got these wild and windy conditions going on. It's pretty interesting at the moment. You can see behind me there, the Coast Guard's out there saving someone. That's how bad it is today. It's pretty blustery indeed. So yeah, let's go back and check out life on the boat. One of the many tasks we have to do when we live on a boat is to make sure that we've always got water. Unlike living in a house at home, when you always turn on the tap, it's guaranteed to come out, or most of the time. On a boat, you've got to take care of those things. So this is our water tank right here, and with this key, water on this boat I have capacity of 330 litres in 2 tanks. So gives us water for about a week and a half, and got plastic containers on the boat as well that I fill up that can give us extra water if we need it, but this usually lasts pretty much all right. I shower every day on the boat, a couple of times in fact, and you become really conscious of how much water you use when you live on a boat. That's something I've really noticed. Your consumption of everything is a lot more obvious. So this is cap comes off, I just stick it there, and then we fill it up. So in case you're asking about the water on a boat and you're interested to know, there's a filtration system. So I do drink this water and use it for all my cooking, but it goes through a couple of filters before I actually get to use it, so it's really clean. I don't have a water maker on the boat as yet. It's one of the things that I'm looking into. Probably use that more if I do passages and stuff, but it's quite handy to be able to make your own water from salt water, because then you can become totally self-sustainable. And a lot of people also, they collect rainwater on their boat. I don't actually do that yet, but it's another thought that I've had, and collecting the rainwater. But there's a lot of things you've got to consider when you do that. It's really howling today, this wind, it's incredible. So I usually top this up once a week, that's about it. And I'm only using this tank at the moment. I don't need to use the other tank, but I do freshen that out every now and again, so the water doesn't get not stale inside, but if it doesn't get growth and all the rest of it, keep the pumps working and everything, which is always good. So there are many things to do on a boat when you compared to just living in a house. Like, you know, you've got to constantly be aware of things. As I say, today with the strong wind blowing, you can see the line that I've got from the boom. That's keeping the boom still in the wind, so the boom doesn't swing across unintentionally and cause some damage. I've got that tied off to the cleat on the side of the boat here, just up there. And also everything else needs to be tied down pretty securely during these very heavy winds. You can see the dinghy on the front of the boat there. So I've turned the dinghy upside down. It's really good there because it provides a nice shelter for the bedroom. So I can leave the hatches open all the time, no rain's going to get in. And there's a good breeze that gets in under the dinghy. Okay, she's full. So you're going to tell everybody that we just went for a run and that we're going to go back on the boat now. Yeah. So this is what we've got to do when we get off the boat. We go for a run or a walk, and the little guy here has to get back on the boat. So this is how we do it. You're going to show everyone how you get back on the boat? Hey, you're going to show everyone? Okay, here we go. That's it. So for those people that are not too familiar with boats, I know there's a lot of people out there that are not too familiar with boats. A couple of the important instruments that we have on a boat. Just over here, I just wanted to show you these this morning. This is the water depth. So this tells us how much water we've got under the keel. And at the moment there's only 0.7 of a meter under the keel, so we're in very shallow water at the moment. And that tells us all the time. I've actually got an alarm set on that so that if we get into too shallow water and the keel's going to hit the bottom, an alarm will go off in the boat and I'll get notified of that. And then over here we've got the wind reading and the wind power. So at the moment you can see, you might be able to see that it's over 20 knots, 27 knots there we're gusting up to, and it's coming from the south, no, it's coming from the west southwest this morning. So we've got a lot of wind, nearly 30 knots. And that's how we tell the wind speed and the wind direction on this gauge here. So the boat's facing this way and the wind's coming from around about 4:30, 5 o'clock on the wind dial there. And if we were out sailing, we'd be getting a nice little push along, and it'd be pretty exciting with nearly 30 knots of wind, so it's really howling. This is the radar. It's not turned on at the moment, but that's the radar chart plotter there. And on this side we have the autopilot. So this is a really handy feature on a boat. So when we get the sails set up and we're out there sailing, we can just push this button here and the boat basically steers itself in the direction that we want to go in. And we can set that to any degrees. We can change it when we tack. The boat can actually tack itself as well. So you can lay back and enjoy some food and some drinks perhaps. Yeah. So that's yeah, just some wind gauges on the boat. And while I'm here, I might as well show you some more. Again, for those people that are not familiar, up here we have all the different lines running to the sails. Might show you on this side so the sun's not a problem. Here's Oscar's life jacket. So this is what Oscar wears all the time when he's on the boat. He loves his life jacket. And here are the main lines for putting the sails out. So we have the main traveller, Traveler's the thing that goes backwards and forwards at the boom, so it moves the boom around. The vang is the mechanism that raises the boom up and down, and these are all to make sure that you've got your sails set properly. Spinnaker topping lift, out haul, all these are for the mainsail, to put the mainsail out and to put the spinnaker out. All controlled here from the cockpit, so I don't actually have to leave the cockpit to sail the boat. Everything is managed from here. As you can see, I've got winches here with the lines around, and I can just turn on the winches here and have the sails set from here. So it's really good from a safety point of view. You don't have to go up on, like on a lot of sailboats, you have to go up forward and play around with the sails and pull the sails down and all the rest of it. On this boat you don't have to. You can manage everything from in here of the safety of the cockpit. So there you go, there's a couple of things about instruments and about the mechanisms that work all the lines for the sails. Okay, we're back in the quieter surrounds of the boat. I just wanted to show you a little bit more about the engine, because someone asked me recently, do sailboats have engines? And I thought, well, that's a good question, because some of the smaller ones, they obviously don't, but anything of a reasonable size does have an engine, because you have to use the engine to get in and out of the harbour, out of the docking. So my boat has an engine right down here behind the companionway. So let's have a look at the engine. There we go, that's my engine. And this engine is a Yanmar 52 horsepower engine. And as you can see, it's quite a tight spot to get in there. So if you have to make any repairs, there are side entrances over there, so it's easy to get in there. And as you can see, I keep it pretty clean and tidy. So the interesting thing about the engine on a sailboat is this sailboat weighs just on 8.5 tons, so 8,500 kilos. So it's quite a lot of weight, and that engine pushes me along at around about 14 or 15 kilometers per hour, 6 or 7 knots, yeah? So that's where the engine is kept. Now, another significant part about this is you can see this lever here. This is the throttle lever for the engine, and it goes forward for forward and it goes back for reverse. Very simple, yeah? But it has a really fantastic feature about it, is that when you're sailing, you can actually put that lever in reverse and your prop will go from being splayed out like that to being folded away like that. So it's release less drag on the sailing. So that's really cool, because when you're sailing along, the drag of the propeller slows you down around about 1 knot of boat speed. So to have a propeller that can actually fold in by pulling that lever down while you're sailing can actually increase the speed of the boat. So that's something really cool about that. So I just wanted to show you the engine and tell you that my little Yanmar gets us along at a good little clip, and they're very economical as well. If you're comparing this to a car, for instance, this will burn around about 1.5 litres per hour. So you can go a long way on a tank full of diesel in a boat. And yes, my engine is a diesel engine, and there's about 120 litre tank of diesel on board the boat. So we can go a long way on a tank full of diesel. So there you go, that's a little bit more about the actual engine on my boat. So there we go, that's it for this behind the scenes episode from my boat. I hope you enjoyed those couple of little things that I showed and shared with you this morning, topping up the water, tying stuff down, showing you the different levers for putting out the sails, the instruments that we have, and also the engine. Just a quick overview of those. I'll go into them in more details in following videos when I'm using them, so you can actually see how they get to work. So this week, don't forget to check out, we're getting our new website at humanity.com, humaneity.com. That's going to be really exciting. You're going to be able to find all of our podcast shows in one location. You don't have to go to 3 separate websites to find them. And don't forget, if you haven't already, check out our YouTube channel. We've got lots of episodes up there now. We're going to have all of our episodes on there for you to be able to check out in the not too distant future. So Humanity channel, that's the name of our YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to that. Press the bell and you'll be notified every time that we drop a new video into our YouTube channel. So that's it. Thanks for checking in on behind the scenes. I've enjoyed bringing you this video, and I'll be back with you all with another one really soon. Hope this wind goes down. See you later. Have a good week.